Hi, I'm Dennis Wilson. For over 50 years, Delta Dental of New Jersey has been committed to educating the public about the importance of good oral health and its role in our overall health and well-being. That's why we're proud to support the important healthcare programming produced by the CAUCUS Educational Corporation.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the Russell Berry Foundation, Delta Dental of New Jersey. Everyone deserves a healthy smile. The Northward Center, PSE&G, committed to providing safe, reliable energy now and in the future. Verizon, Johnson & Johnson, and by Adler Aphasia Center, helping stroke and brain injury survivors recover their speech. Promotional support provided by AM 970 The Answer and by New Jersey Monthly, the magazine of the Garden State, available at newsstands.
This is One-on-One.
I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this. You got this?
Here it is, man. Look at that. Life without dance is boring.
I don't care how good you are or how good you think you are, there is always something to learn.
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No.
People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
That's a good question. High five.
Hi, this is Steve Adubato. This is a program about innovation, technology, and everything in between that you don't want to miss. Let me introduce, once again, Dr. Joel Bloom, been with us many times, learned something new every time. He's the president of NJIT, that's New Jersey Institute of Technology, and his colleague Jorge Santos, vice president of economic development, policy and strategic planning at Newark Community Economic Development Corporation. You actually have that on a business card?
Yeah.
I'd like to see that's a big card. It's a big job. Joel, set this up for us. You've been our partner on the higher ed and for a while talking about innovation technology. It's one thing to talk about this Metro Lab National Summit that's happening in Newark, but it's another thing to talk about Newark being a quote-unquote smart city.
So the smart city concept goes back at least a half a dozen years ago, where we say, how do you improve the quality of people's lives in an urban setting using technology? Smart city. We didn't invent the term, it's being done globally, actually. And what are you doing by creating a smart city? You're giving the citizens, as well as the companies, the industries in your city, access to more technology. How do you do it? Multiple ways. Of course, we know about the miles and miles of dark fiber in the street within the city of Newark, and the power that gives you immediately. How do you get the power out from underneath the street? In some ways, and to create a smart city, use kiosks.
Kiosks?
Kiosks.
How so?
So if you go to a neighboring other great city, New York City, you will see these 9-foot-tall, slender, metallic-looking, thin kiosks. They're informational kiosks. It's called Link NYC. The city, with the EDC and NJIT,
Economic Development Corporation.
Economic Development Corporation, we're creating a Link Newark.
So we can have something comparable. It'll be, even though New York had it first, we can have it better.
Well, actually, I think London had it first, then New York, and Newark. So London.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's great.
And describe the role your team has on this.
So Newark CEDC, we have an MOU with the city to help operate.
Look at the jargon. Memorandum of Understanding.
So we're the city's economic development corporation. We do a lot for the city, including helping to run the city's Newark Fiber program, and a lot of the tech initiatives in conjunction with the city's Office of Information Technology. So one of those things is helping to lead this effort with NJIT to bring Link Newark here to the city. So we're going to have 30 of these in the downtown. These kiosks, but also an additional 3 in each ward outside of downtown. For a total of 45. 5 wards. For a total of 45 within the first year. See how it goes. Hopefully we can expand these. So these
Why do you need these guys? Why do you need NJIT?
Well, they're the state's leading polytechnic university. There's a great tech partner with the city. Their advice, their input.
Let's not turn into commercial. They're one of our underwriters. but they are a key partner in all seriousness.
They're a key partner, yes. Absolutely.
So there's a higher ed piece. There's a municipal government piece. There's where's the role of the business community in this, Joel?
PSE&G, first and foremost. We need to get power, first of all, to all of these kiosks, the 45 that George laid out. PSE&G owns that space, one company. Juniper Cloud helps us get the computing capacity using the cloud. Who else? With Verizon. So Verizon has several features. So what you use the kiosk for is to deliver technology services to the consumer or to the company. So you will have access to use, for example, Wi-Fi on this on these
Okay,
towers.
hold on. You're in Washington Square Park.
Right.
I shouldn't say
Well,
Washington
there's
Square Park,
already
because I'm thinking New
Yeah,
York.
let's go to military. I was going to say
dating myself
Let's-
from
let's
hanging out down in Washington Square Park. That would be another topic.
Military.
Military Park
There's
in
al-
Newark. Go ahead.
Right. So we've already, if you go there today, I think it's still there. There's a pilot kiosk there.
Go ahead.
We put it up months ago just to see, one, consumer interest in it, because there is always a business side to this. You can't do this without a business
Gotta be a
partnership.
market.
It's got to be a market. So one of the things you can do is you can advertise upcoming events in the city of Newark, whether it's at the New Jersey PAC, whether
Performing
it's,
Arts Center, right?
I'm sorry, Performing Arts Center, whether it's at the Prudential Arena, whether it's at one of our campuses, whether it's some nonprofit doing something in the city.
Which they have a hard time promoting themselves because they don't have the money, but the kiosk and this technology helps get that information, those messages out there.
Absolutely. But now you can also if you want to monitor traffic, or if you want to monitor the quality of air, you've got this terminal already standing at 45 locations. If you want to see if has that street been plowed where kiosk XY is. So it gives you all kind of science and technology
That's a smart
applications.
city. You know, it's so interesting. Last time we were together with Joel, by the way, check out our website. You'll see this. You had the Voice Summit.
Right.
Who put that together again?
NJIT, MoDev, the city of Newark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we were there for that, and I was struck by the innovation technology going on there. But real quick, the Metro 2018 Metro Lab National Summit. What is it?
So that's in the prior federal administration, they were very interested in cities and academia working together, again, to improve services to the community. So you had to apply to be a Metro Lab. Newark and NJIT partnered, submitted an application, gets approved. So there are 44, 45 Metro Labs, including about 50, so municipalities, a couple county governments, and about 60 universities. They partner on projects for their city, their municipality. That's the relationship we're having with Newark. Our project was Smart City. That's what we submitted to become a Metro Lab.
Pick up on this, George. This whole Smart City thing, innovation, data analytics, linking Newark in a way that never was linked before. The mayor, Ras Baraka, involved in this as well. How does it change the potential, dare I use the term, demographics in the city? Meaning, is there a chance that some folks who otherwise might not want to live in the city and work in the city would be attracted to the city because of this?
Well, I think anything the city does to make the city a better place would make the city more attractive to all kinds of folks, regardless of the demographics.
But beyond all the cultural stuff that's going on, a lot of the sports stuff that's great downtown, development, NJPAC just had a whole new, check out what's going on in NJPAC, our partners there, great stuff. But the technological piece of it, the linked, the connectivity, how much does that matter?
I think it does matter. It helps to make the city a little bit more user-friendly, you can say, right? You come to downtown Newark, if you're not familiar with the city, you might not know where to go, what to do. Now you have, these different Wi-Fi hotspots everywhere. Now you have information kind of available on the screen. Go here for lunch, go there to see some other event, go where the museum's only half a mile away. And it makes the city much more user-friendly, much more easy to adapt to living in the city or visiting the city.
On this, before I let you go, could you see more quote-unquote millennials? And what's the other expression we heard today? They're not millennials, but they're what? Generation Z, thank you, because we got some Generation Zs over there in the control room running things. More attracted to them?
Sure.
Because?
So we've been monitoring our students who graduate, because they're alums.
Where do they go?
Where do they go? So 4 years
the
ago,
brain drain. You were on another panel with 4 college presidents talking about the brain drain.
Right.
Are we keeping more of them because of this?
Yes. 4 years ago, when we surveyed our alums who graduated, we had about 400 at the time taking residence in the city for the first time.
Wow.
Today, it's 1,300.
So
1,300.
why, right? Why is that just continuing to increase? One, we know about the great transportation.
Yep.
Right? Two, we know about all of the social venues. Mentioned the museum, the art studios that are coming up, the jazz clubs in the city. Don't forget, let's not leave out our already resident college population that's there. So the city is much more attractive. It's still a much better buy than going across the river.
Get more for your money.
You can't even go to Brooklyn, New York anymore because that's as high priced as the lower west side is today. So Newark is becoming, we already know it's a transportation hub. Just look at the kind of residences that are going up in the city. New Jersey Performing Arts Center.
Right across the street from Performing Arts Center.
That tower just opened.
It's a luxury tower.
It's a luxury tower.
It's incredible.
And there's 2 more under construction. Teachers Village, I understand, has done extremely well. So and we're in the same business. We will be opening 99 new apartments that we don't own. We're doing that in a P3, right down the street from our university.
So it's not just a smart city, it's a hot city. The city of Newark. Dr. Joel Bloom, Jorge Santos, I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Keep coming back with good stuff, Joel.
Thank you.
Stay with us. Be right back right after this.
To watch more One-on-One with Steve Adubato, find us online and follow us on social media.
Absolutely beautiful. David Devan, who is the General Director and President of Philadelphia Opera. What were we just listening to?
We were listening to We Shall Not Be Moved, which was a new opera we commissioned and performed last year at our O Festival. And it's since been to the Apollo in New York, and we've produced it in Amsterdam in March as well.
Whose voice was that?
That was John Holliday. Amazing. Countertenor. He actually plays a trans character in the opera that is female to male and moves audiences every single time.
I want to make sure we gave props to whoever was singing.
Yeah,
there.
no, he's one of the great operatic talents.
What makes your Opera Philadelphia so different from some other operas?
Yeah, we're mixing it up. We really want to ensure that there's a future for the classical arts, and that means that there's opportunities to actually change the form so that it has 21st century fingerprints on it.
Example?
Example, commissioning new work, like the one we just heard. We've done 7 world premieres in 3 years. Producing things outside the Opera House. That was produced in the Wilma Theater, and then it went to the Apollo, and then it went to a theater in Amsterdam. Just last week, we took over the TLA on South Street, just beside Jimmy's Steaks, to do a cabaret opera, and then we...
That's great.
So, just being a part of urban life and not being above it. Yeah.
Hey, we're the opera and you're not.
Yeah, and doing things that reflect our time. The opera we just heard the excerpt from, We Shall Not Be Moved, is about 5 African-American youths on the run from some trouble. And they take refuge in the moved bomb site from Philadelphia from 32 years ago, and they hear the ghosts of the people that perished.
Wow.
As a source of inspiration for them. Those are things that couldn't happen in the 18th century and the 17th century when opera was being written.
The idea that the moved bomb site connected to this opera, I'm just thinking about the social connections.
Completely.
Just powerful.
Just in Philly, but then we take it to New York, and then we take it to Amsterdam, and everyone in the audience is like, wow, this story's not about Philadelphia. It's about us.
It's about us.
Yeah, completely.
Curious about this. What's the whole Netflix model thing?
Yeah, so the other thing is that our whole industry is built on this model from the 1950s called the subscription model. So the idea is you're going to give me a lot of advance money to buy a whole bunch of operas or classical music.
Some I don't. Yeah. But I got to buy the whole package.
Yep, just to get a seat that you want. Well, we don't really live in that kind of economy anymore. It's a gig economy.
Don't you dare go with on demand. Is it on demand? Like I go for what I want.
You go for what you want. And people are used to curating their own experiences. So what we created last year, and we just concluded this year, is a highly dense urban opera festival that is essentially like Netflixing the opera, where we have 7 opera happenings across 5 venues, 28 performances, 11 days. You can come to Philly and binge watch lots of different programs within 3 days. And then you can go on to other art forms you like, so that you don't have to make hanging out at Opera Philadelphia or committing to classical music a lifelong soul endeavor. It can be a major punctuation in your life that's important and meaningful.
David, how does it change the audience?
It makes it younger. It makes it more diverse. Last year, 18% of our audience was 29 years and under.
18%.
Talking classical music here.
That's a big. I can't imagine the national average is anywhere near that.
It's not. Well, I don't know what. Probably
If it
doesn't
is
even
5.
register.
Yeah,
doesn't
that's-
even
okay.
register probably. And the other thing is that when we the opera we just saw and other operas we were doing, we are engaging creative artists of color, and they're representing their communities. And hey, guess what? Their communities want to come and see it.
That's right.
And
historically have not
correct
had either access or an inclination.
Right. So then you end up getting this like great chemistry in the audience of people from all different walks of life. And, you know, when you go to the theater, I go to the theater, we want to see people that we usually see at the theater, but we're also excited when we see new people, and there's an energy there.
I'm sorry for interrupting you. You're connected to the schools as well.
We are.
How
yeah.
so?
We have a big community programs effort. We have a Sounds of Learning program where we are actually bringing kids in from the schools to see operas for the first time. We actually have a teen vocal program, so kids can actually learn how to sing. It's no cost, no audition. And we have a workforce readiness program, which is kids that aren't going to be college bound, working towards getting union certified or union cards before they finish high school.
What's your story? How'd you get into this whole thing? Seriously.
Yeah,
you didn't grow up in Philadelphia?
No, I'm a Canadian.
You're a Canadian?
I am.
You admit that?
Yes, and I became a U.S. citizen in January.
I mean, that in a good way. Oh, congratulations,
So
you
now I'm
became a U.S. citizen.
I did. So
art's part of your life, day one, all the way back?
Nope. Was a finance major, business guy, and got a gig in 1989 at the Canadian Opera Company. Had never seen an opera, fell in love with opera, was reasonably good at my job, went through very quickly at a young age, was running an opera company in Victoria, British Columbia. And then they came recruiting me in Philly. And I remember saying to them, hey, the only thing I remember from business school is the best way to compete is not to. So if you all want to create a highly differentiated artistic experience that represents the community we live in, and you want to reinvent the company, I'm good. I'm interested.
You want to do the same old, same old?
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah, and you know, like I think for Philly and the region where we are even today, I think there's, this region is the perfect intersection of sophistication and grit. And I think that our artistic practice embodies that. I think what we just saw, if you were to come to see that opera, and I think that makes it of us.
You an Eagles fan?
I am an Eagles fan. I've learned to like football.
Look at you. Just checking. Everyone from Philly, I have to ask that question. Biggest difference between the New York opera scene, Philly opera scene. I hate to create a, a thing, but give me 30 seconds.
We're complementary. The Metropolitan Opera does large, grand scale opera in one of the most iconic opera houses in the world.
Yep.
With
Lincoln
great
Center,
talent.
right?
Yep. And so they're about doing opera at a super high level. We also have our own sense of excellence, but I think we're more focused on creativity, and I think we have a greater inquiry about what the future of opera can be. And I think those are the differences.
Well said, Davey. Thank you. We appreciate it, David.
Thanks for being here.
Wish you all the best at the Opera Philadelphia.
Well, and we'll hope to see you in the audience someday. Thank you.
I'd love to do that.
Let's
Thank
take
you.
care of that.
By the way, that voice was incredible, again. that we listened to at the beginning. I'm still caught up on that. Still listen right back, right after this.
To watch more One-on-One with Steve Adubato, find us online and follow us on social media.
We're pleased to be joined by Courtney Lozano, who is Program Director, Cancer Support Community at Holy Name Medical Center. Good to see you, Courtney.
Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. And prepping for this, I thought to myself, wow, cancer, it's a clinical side. You got to take care of people, radiation, chemotherapy, other treatments. There's more to it than that, right?
There's a lot more to it. So Cancer Support Community is actually a global organization. We offer free cancer support programs to anyone impacted by cancer.
Anyone?
Anyone
Family?
impacted by cancer. Families, caregivers, spouse, anyone who's going through this alongside someone who's diagnosed with this disease. And with Cancer Support Community, Holy Name Medical Center in Teaneck, New Jersey has a partnership with them since 2016. And even though these programs are held and hosted at Holy Name, they are open to anyone receiving cancer treatment anywhere.
Anywhere. What do you do for them? Because I was looking, you got yoga, you got support groups, you got meditation.
Yes.
Why?
So every cancer center and hospital offers cancer support groups, which are vital in helping someone get through their cancer journey. But we want to offer a variety of other ways that people can connect in a non-traditional group setting. So we have cooking classes, we have nutrition classes, we have yoga, scrapbooking, meditation.
You got drums. What's the drum circle class?
So fun. They love it. It gets their energy out, and people just enjoy some different ways to meet people. And when someone is diagnosed with cancer, it doesn't only affect you medically or physically, it affects your emotional well-being.
Talk about that.
And you have to think about, how am I going to address that? That has to be addressed. So through the Cancer Support Community, we realize that social and emotional support is just as important as medical care. They should go hand in hand. So even if your doctor didn't suggest it or recommend it or talk about how important support is, we want to invite you to join us. And if you're seeking support, we are here at any point in your journey.
How'd you get into this?
I'm a social worker as my background, so I used to do counseling and group work myself, but now I'm kind of developing and implementing this program in behind the scenes, and I'm seeing that the expansion of this program is just so rewarding. It's really beautiful.
You know, there have been people who have said that the kinds of things you're talking about actually have a clinical medical benefit. If so, what is it?
There's so many ways that when someone is going through this, it can affect you in so many ways. And I think that medically, if you're so focused on
the stress?
Exactly. We have a stress management class. When you're coming here, the social component is so valuable, because you can come from a family that's so supportive, or a spouse or a best friend who has always been there for you. But you come into this group of initially strangers and you meet with them. It is a completely different experience. They relate to you on a different level, and they understand the fear, the hair loss, the body image, the fatigue, that you don't even have to explain yourself. They understand what you're going through, and they have your back. And it's really important to know that that's where you can find support.
There are people watching right now. I don't think that I know anyone or who doesn't have a family member or someone close to them. They themselves are dealing with cancer. So you talk about people affected by cancer. Someone says, devil's advocate, I can tough this out. I can do it on my own, you say?
So there are so many people who are so independent, and their whole lives, they've always been taking care of other people. And it's so hard to take that step and say, I'm the one who needs the support now, and I'm the one who needs the help. But we don't want pride to get in your way. There are so many cancer support programs, not only ours, but all over. Why are they here? Why are these programs here? They're here because you can't do it alone. It's hard. There's a lot happening, and we want to make sure that we can support you. And actually, the mission of Cancer Support Community is so that no one faces cancer alone.
Oh, before I let you out of here, the online piece of this? There's online support.
There is online support. So if you're unable to come to a group in person, there are online support groups where you can reach out.
How does it work? You're online. Don't you have to see someone face to face?
Well, I mean, it's a different way to gain support, and you're online in a group.
It's complementary.
With other people who are going through the same thing. Yeah.
Just being in that conversation, knowing you're not alone, helps a little bit.
It helps a lot. I really think it helps a lot. There's so many things that are going through your head, and you feel isolated and alone. And this program, I feel like it offers a sense of belonging in a time when it is needed the most.
And cost?
Everything's free of charge.
No, it's not free.
No cost. Everything's free.
And you don't actually have to be at the medical center. You could be anywhere.
You can get treatment in the city, another cancer center in Jersey, and you still come here for support. It's just a community-based program that just happens to be held here.
How rewarding is it for you to be involved in this kind of work?
I love my job. I really love my job. I love being able to provide and implement all of these programs. There's almost 40 programs a month to choose from. And for me to see the impact that it makes on these participants, it's really powerful.
Courtney Lozano, well done.
Thank
Keep
you.
doing what you're doing. You're helping a lot of
Thank you.
people, but you don't need me to tell you that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Catch you next time, folks. Thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the CAUCUS Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the Russell Berry Foundation, Delta Dental of New Jersey, the Northward Center, PSC&G, Verizon, Johnson & Johnson, and by Adler Aphasia Center. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.
How do you create change? By cultivating hope. And we see that every day. In the eyes of our preschoolers, in the souls of the seniors in our Adult Day program, in the minds of the students at Robert Treat Academy, a national Blue Ribbon School of Excellence, in the passion of children in our Youth Leadership Development Program, in our commitment to connections at the Center for Autism, and in the heart of our community, the Northward Center, creating opportunities for equity, education, and growth.